Harimai. Welcome to Knit and Knot by the Sea. My name is Catherine and my pronouns are she, her.
Kia ora, harimai. My name is Victoria and my pronouns are also she, her.
Okay, so we're here on Saturday, the 15th. Victoria's life got underway. Work. So yeah, Victoria was able to do it today, Saturday, so hopefully this will go out tonight and then people can catch up. And yeah, so life.
So it's the last, 2.5 weeks. We had Easter.
That's right.
So that was 5 days off work for me and 6 days off for you.
Yes, I took an extra day off so that I could enjoy my life. Yes, so that was really lovely. It's weird because I didn't particularly bring up the kids Christian, but I sent them chocolate a long time ago, almost 3 weeks ago. So I had nothing to do. I didn't eat chocolate. I didn't get chocolate apart from my little treat that I have almost every day. Yeah. Did you do anything Eastery?
I bought hot cross buns on the Thursday because the supermarkets are shut on the Friday, which is Good Friday. Because I thought I'm going to be really hungry tomorrow, and so I had my first lot of hot cross buns, I think in about 2 years.
I haven't had any.
Ages.
See, normally Martin would bake hot cross buns, and they would always be slightly disappointing because we only use wholemeal flour.
That does sound disappointing.
But he does really well. He does like the cross and everything.
Nice.
But we don't really have a proper oven now.
So no, I didn't do anything special for Easter.
No, I'm kind of puzzled. We spent all weekend a bit puzzled about it because I don't think New Zealand's a Christian country. Like it's not in the constitution that we're a Christian country, and yet the whole thing shuts down because it's Easter, which is a Christian holiday.
Yeah.
And it just got weirder because we were out and about, and so some days the supermarkets were closed. But on one day in this town, is it Kurau? I think it might have been Kurau. The shops were open, which I was like, on Sunday they were open.
Yeah, it was. Some shops were open on the Sunday.
Yeah, they had. Because not only I think Sunday's supposed to be shut. But they had this sign: no alcohol sold today.
Ah.
And I was like, oh, that's so quaint. It was like, the government telling us that you will not drink alcohol on this holy day. It just seemed so weird and so old-fashioned. Whilst people were like brunching.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so what have you been up to apart from like enjoying Easter and having a wee break?
Stitching, but actually haven't produced an awful lot. But I did a day trip up to Timaru to see my grandmother. I feel I've caught up with my family since last time we filmed. Had a family tea. But no, we're getting into winter now, so it's getting darker earlier.
Love it.
Had to turn the heater on, which is a big step for me.
Don't get overexcited. When she says turn the heating on, it's not my version of turning the heating on.
No, literally I plug in the heater and turn the heater on. You'll often see that I'm
wearing a t-shirt.
And Catherine will be like 4 woolen layers.
No, I won't, but I'll have my cardigan on and sometimes my shawl on my lap.
Yeah. No, it's quiet.
Yeah.
Been pretty tired, I think. Last couple of weeks just sort of catching up.
I think people really needed the Easter break.
Yeah.
I really felt like I was just like limping towards it. So it was good to have a break. I went away.
Oh, you did, yeah.
So we went on the camper. So that was great. It was lovely. Terrible weather. It was mostly rainy. But that was great because, we were just chilling out. Beautiful views. It was like we were able to park it and it was the ocean. It was so lovely. And we went to lots of little towns. There's a town outside of Oamaru called Weston. And there was this beautiful wood mason's cottage that has kind of been preserved. It's a little bit smaller than my house. And it was just adorable. It was Oamaru stone. It was just lovely. I think the lady, she became a widow. And she brought up 5 kids in this house.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, so beautiful. So that was like a little treat. There was like the museum in Kurau had quite a bit on like spinning wheels and sewing paraphernalia. So that was kind of fun. Nice. Martin got overexcited because they also had a thing about like medical stuff. And Martin was a lab tech in a previous life. He stopped doing that 17 years ago. But they had a kit for how you do a blood count. And literally in the olden days, he was like, he got so excited. He was telling me all about it. And it's like a glass thing with chambers inside, and you literally put your drops of blood in and you counted the red cells. That's what the blood count was.
Almost physically, wow.
Yeah, and he said it actually looked quite incredible. Not just because when it's a blood count, it means they counted them, but also they've been doing this since like late 1800s. And so the skills to make these glass chambers, I was like, it was quite impressive. So yeah, that was good fun. So if you're around the South Island, go to Curacao. That was we thought it was worth it. Weston was cute. Yeah, lots of walking really, just walking and looking at people's gardens.
Sounds lovely.
Nothing fancy.
Sounds lovely.
Oh, and Martin's retired.
That's the big news.
That's the big news. We have to wait 11 months for him to get the pension, but he's not working anymore. So we went to Chilibaji. Is that what it's called? Chilibaja?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. The one that we went to together with our friend Claire. He really liked it, so that was our little celebration. And I almost failed. Did I tell you the epic almost fail?
No.
Okay, the day before he retired. So I am rubbish. I'm like the worst wife. It was his birthday in March. Did I remember to buy him a present? I meant to. Did it happen? No, it didn't. And so the day before he retires, I was like, oh my God, you only retire once. I never even thought about a present. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So a friend helped me and we went to the golf warehouse. So I wanted to buy him like a golf...
Like a retirement.
Like a
something
proper,
to do, yeah.
Like a proper retirement gift, because he didn't have golf clubs anymore. He got rid of them because he swung a golf and it broke. So he was like, these are not good enough anymore. So he needed a new golf set. So the idea was that I would go and I would buy him a complete set. Anyway, people at the golf warehouse, so rude. I was completely ignored for 25 minutes. So I was like, I'm leaving. So I went to Rebel Sport and they had like a tiny little section of golf. So I bought him a bag because it was grey with turquoise. So I was like, oh, cute. I made sure that he could return the bag. But anyway, Martin liked the bag and I just made him a handwritten voucher.
Go and get yourself some golf clubs.
Yes, to the amount of. So and then he said, oh, this is perfect because it means I can go and choose my things.
Actually, it probably does work out better because I don't know about golf or sports in general, but I'm imagining that your different height.
It's not just the height, but people like test them out.
Yeah.
And then it turned out, because I was going to buy him a full set.
That's like thousands, isn't it?
Well, no, I had a budget. I had like a limit, not thousands. But then he said, oh, no, I wouldn't buy a full set. I'll just buy half a set. I was like, I wouldn't have had a clue. So he's got enough so that he can buy his half set and he can buy the wheels for the cart and whatever.
That's so cool.
So hopefully he'll do that next week. And then a little handmade card.
So he can play with all his golf bits over winter.
Yeah.
Waiting for the fields to open. I don't know, do the seasons?
Oh, no, they play through. Yeah, they play with it. But anyway, I was so relieved because it dawned on me that maybe this was significant. And so I did that, and I was like, the big reveal of the gift, because I didn't tell him. I lied to him. I said, like, oh, can I have the card? Because I have to go to the GP for my hormones.
He was like, oh, I don't want to hear about this.
No, he's not like that. But he was like, he sent me a text, don't forget the GP.
Oh.
And I'm not very good at lying. I am like the biggest open.
Well, you just in your head, you go, you're right, I won't forget the GP Golf Pro.
No, but the funny thing is, like, I never can lie to Martin, but I pulled it off.
Well done.
And so he was like, oh, how was the GP? I was like, it was fine. And I could see that he was looking at me like, she's not talking about it.
Usually you love to go in extreme detail.
Yeah, so then we went to charge the car before going for a curry. And so I said, oh, can you just get that bag from the boot for me? And then he opened it and there was a golf bag and I was the best wife. And so it was very cute. And then we had a curry and mine was disappointing because I tried to be adventurous.
Yeah. Go with what you like. No.
And I was like, don't have the same as last time. Try a different one. It was disappointing. But Martin loved it. So
good.
Yeah, so he's happy. He didn't value my handmade card, but never mind. He liked the voucher.
Can't win them all.
That's right. So that was it, really. That was my big news.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, anyway, that's it. Right, okay, so let's get started. Because let's not make it 4 hours long. It's already 10 minutes.
All right. Yeah, it should be a quicker one than last time, I think.
Yes, so, Victoria, do you have any FFOs?
Fully finished objects? No.
Okay, I don't have any FFO. I do have an FFO in knitting, so that will come later. Do you have any FOs?
Yes.
Ooh, drum roll.
So I actually have two, but one of them I can't show you.
It's a secret.
Until after the Dunedin Stitching Retreat. So I had a new start and a finish, but you don't get to see it for a while. But what you can see is my finished, I think it was Autumn Oranges panel. This is for my Home Sweet Home box. Not sure if that's in focus, but it's really cute. Pretty pleased with that. It's amazing. I'm very pleased with how these are coming out. Sorry, my family's having a whole conversation with text alerts coming up.
Did I see this because I came to see you and we didn't film? Because I remember talking about these too.
Maybe I did already show it. Can we just pretend I didn't? Because then I feel like I've achieved something.
I'm a lady of a certain age. I forget half the stuff. So
I
maybe you did, but maybe we did catch up.
We did. Maybe I showed them to you and how they were going to be stitched on, but I don't know whether they were stitched on.
No, these two were already on. I don't remember these, so maybe you hadn't done these. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was very cute,
it's
though.
Done. It's gorgeous.
Is that linen or calico?
Pass.
It looks calico-y.
It's a bit darker than normal calico. So, for those of you who can't recall, this is The Home Sweet Home by Caroline Pierce. And the panel I just showed you was...
You're doing so great.
Autumn Orange. So I'm way behind where I should be. I had estimated that each of these panels would take a week. That was my 17 elements in 17 weeks, and they're taking about 2 weeks. But I'm hoping I'm going to be able to catch up fairly quickly on elements like the scissor keep. So that's the front and the back.
You keep saying that. Ha ha.
Shush, shush, shush. I'm going to be really fast. I'm still going to have it all done by the first weekend in July. Because that is when we're putting the Together Class C. And that little, the emery block, that's only going to take a day. Please.
I'm sure you'll manage.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But that was my FO.
Cool. Hang on, I've got such terrible memory. I'm just making notes to myself for something that I want to mention later. Okay, so let's move on to works in progress.
All right.
I'll start. You can tidy your whatness out. So I already filmed in Spanish, so you will, if you watch both, you'll have seen this. So I actually managed to make progress on 10 motifs for my Where the Forest
Well done.
and the Forest Grew, which is by Rosewood
coffee
Manor.
on it.
Yeah. Rosewood Manor. So that's Karen Kluber as the designer.
Just on the pattern, by the way. There's just water staining
Oh
on the pattern.
remember the coffee fiasco. It went all over my stuff.
right.
No, it was a proper coffee party that happened. So this is part of my sal that I think I'm doing on my own. And so I've done quite a bit, and I've even started a new thing. So since Thursday I started this bit.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I've done 10 motifs. So this one, and lots of other little ones that make up 10. So, and so this is the thing. It's a little bit like you were saying with your Home Sweet Home. I count each thing as one motif, but of course, this is massive. But then it's one motif, and then this little one is also one motif. So of course, some will go faster than others. But I'm really enjoying this, and I am trying to use up colours that I have.
Really pretty.
Yeah, and of course, as always, I collaborate with the designers. So yeah, I'm happy. It's going well. Every so often, I get annoyed because I'm not really thinking about the picture. I'm just usually watching a podcast or a Flosstube or some film or something. And then I realized I've embroidered something I don't want to. So this is an apple, and it's got a snake. And I was like, I just don't want those references to like women being bad and eating some forbidden apple. It annoys me. So I'm a bit annoyed. I was like, how can I change? I haven't changed it. Whatever. Amongst all the other motifs, you don't really notice it. But yeah. So we won't talk about this little one for next week.
That's for next week.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's going really well. That's on a linen, which I think we bought from 123 Stitch. That was one of my practice ones, you know, like trying to figure them out. But I've lost the sticker
Stormcloud,
now.
I want to say. Didn't you do snow?
No.
Do you have a book where you've written everything down? No, you haven't.
Oh,
Did
no,
I
let
tell
me
you
think.
to make a book? Yes, I did.
Let me think. Do I have a book? No. But I really recommend this pattern. It's so delightful, and you do feel a sense of achievement because there's so many different sizes. And what I'm doing now is I'm actually skipping the little motifs. I'm doing the big ones to kind of anchor it, because of course I'm not faithfully counting the gaps.
Yeah, and you can
So if
tweak
you
the
do
little ones easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
and I showed you these little brooches that I'd made last time with my girls' initials, and this one I'd made upside down. I fixed it.
Done.
I'm a grown up. I can fix things when I know they're wrong. So yeah. So that's one. Have you got a whip?
I have got a whip, but I hate to say I've only got one. Like I said, I have a new start and a finish, but I can't show you for a while. And I'm really
This is not even cross
concentrating.
stitch.
I know. Sorry, people. So for the next 2 months, this is all really pretty much what you're going to be saying is what things out of this book.
She says that she'll be tempted by other things.
I will be. So this is Spring Pea, and I was so hoping I would have it finished, but I have not quite got there. So I'm just working on the flowers and things that go along the bottom, and I spent all of today doing that snail in slow
You can't see
motion.
your finger.
Oh, sorry, that snail. But I'm pretty pleased with
You've
it
come
so far.
such a long way. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I'm pretty pleased. I'm really enjoying this at the moment.
Can I have a look?
It's got beads on it and sequins, and I haven't put the little there's like a ladybird charm. That's the word I was looking for.
Gosh, this is very adorable. These tiny little plants. I mean, it's all very pretty, but then you know when you really start looking carefully, you notice the tiny little details. Very lovely.
And I find that the flowers and things along the bottom really pull it together. So
Nice.
hopefully that will be finished before I go to bed tonight. But we'll see.
So how many segments do you need to finish by the club? I know you've just said, just repeat.
So there were 17 elements.
Yeah,
And
elements.
so I wasn't being annoyed because you'd asked. I was being annoyed because I haven't finished
Oh,
it.
you can be annoyed because it's fun.
So 17 elements, and this will be number 4.
Just quit your job.
I know.
I mean, I'm sure you'll manage, but also nothing's going to happen if you don't.
Oh, no. And
fine.
there's it's a weekend to put together 17 elements. It's not like we're going to be doing and finishing everything.
Yeah, and there's going to be a range of different levels of finishes for people.
I would
think.
imagine so.
Yeah.
But I really want to have the
Your main thing is the house, isn't
the
it?
house. So all I've got left for the house is, well, not all I've got left, but the summer strawberry. I've got that face to do, and that actually looks a lot lighter.
And that completes the house details.
That completes the 4 sides of the house and the roof, but there's also a panel on the bottom. So I've still got the base
You can
to do.
totally do that in it.
Oh yeah, see that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's gone from 20 or 30 different stitching techniques in this one down to I've done all those before in the other elements, and yeah, see this is easy.
The thing is, the only bad thing about you not finishing everything is that you lose the impetus.
Exactly. So I'm not in my head. I know I don't have to have everything finished, but also in my head I'm like, get it all done, and then all you've got to do is put it together.
Yeah, because otherwise it could be another year before you pull your finger out and
Exactly.
actually start finishing the things.
How long did this sit
Yeah.
in my bedroom before I was like, crap, this is coming up.
Yeah,
I've got to get
yeah.
into it because I found it scary.
Yeah.
Loving it. Highly recommend. I know one of our watchers is starting it because she asked about stretcher bars. It's really fun.
Oh, cool. So you got your stretcher bars from
Stitch Witches.
Oh.
So I got the stretcher bars for my Die Fisher sampler at Art Zone because it's huge and it's outside the
embroidery range.
Yeah, it's like canvas stretcher bars, so they're really chunky and robust.
Oh, interesting.
Whereas the smaller ones, usually you can find in embroidery shops, I believe.
So I presume, correct me if I'm wrong because I've never done anything like that. Will you take the stretcher bars off when it's finished, or will you get them framed with the stretcher bars?
I'll take it off. It's just a frame to stretch stuff over.
Okay.
So
So you're building up your collection of stretcher bars because it has been a bit of an investment, but now you'll be able to use them for other things.
well, they're cheap anyway because it's just soft pine. But so these four,
Yeah, you
I
say
have used
they're
this
cheap.
frame.
You
Oh,
say they're
okay.
cheap. I'm an op shopper.
I'm guessing here, but it was like $7 for maybe $14 for the whole frame because you buy 2 lots of 2, so you can have a rectangular frame or a square one depending on the size you want.
Okay.
But so I've used this frame for all of the elements. I just unpin it when I'm finished. It's just pinned on. Unpin it
Okay.
and take it off.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but in the context of like buying your fabric and buying your threads and buying the book and stuff, it adds up. So next time you do a project like this, you already have your stretcher bars.
Exactly. It's like your hoops. You buy your hoops if you're a hoop stitcher and you reuse them.
Cool. Great. Okay, I do have another work in progress.
Excellent.
And this is my Consider the Lilies, which I love. I'm now doubting myself. Did I do any work on this? I think so. I'm doing my squash them any which way. Oh, I did. So this is what I was telling you about. It is the tree.
Oh, so this is the tree with the snake.
No, that was the one.
That was the other
That was the
one.
one I
Yeah.
showed. But this tree had a snake, and I was paying attention, and I haven't put it in. So I'm having none of this patriarchal women.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. What else? And this is the one, because this is my political piece now. You know, stop criminalizing social protest, which is kind of me thinking about Peru, thinking about England, the world. So I was helping the designer, and I completely changed this. I was like, oh, I miscounted. So 1, 2, 3. So this one's completely wrong, which then meant I had to change this one slightly, and I had to squash up some of them. So in this case, let me move the threads out of the way. For example, this apple is squashy because there was less space, because all the apples are the same size, and I was like, that never happens in nature. I can squash them, so I've squashed them. And the other thing that happened was that when I was working on the flowers around the border, they're all different colors. Of course I didn't follow the instructions, because I don't do that. But I'd save them. I saved them on the sides, and then I got really cheap about it. I was like, this is not going to be an ort. And so this central apple I had like this much thread. I was like, I can use that. And then I had other bits and bobs that were like this big, and I was like, oh, I can do 2 apples, and another one can do. So you can see that they're kind of in pairs. And there's probably 6 different colors of red there, but it's funny how you can't tell. You can spot like this one's clearly different, but you don't necessarily tell with the others. But it kind of makes your eye kind of move, and I like that effect. So I was really pleased with that.
Looks great.
And I'm going to have my Peruvian people from Puno here, remember. So that's probably going to be my next step. I still have all the leaves to do. There's lots of leaves. But yeah, that was enough for that fortnight. I had to get up and cook, I think. I had to be grown up. Oh no, maybe I had to get up and do some gardening, because we're eating a lot out of the garden. So I was like, oh, you go get up. But yeah, I think it's really coming together now.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lovely design. She does a fantastic job. I mean, so many people have embroidered this one. Consider the Lilies by Beth Twist.
I think that's a PDF pattern you bought, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You no, electronic one.
Yeah, because postage is so expensive to New Zealand. So it's kind of a good thing. It's a good thing to do. And this was fabric that I dyed myself with New Zealand flax.
Beautiful.
So I think I can cut my fabric now. So
I
because
think you
left,
can be fairly confident now that you've...
because I left such a small margin, I'm going to cut again another small margin on the other side just to even it out. Yes.
You and your tight margins.
I know. It's like, God, can you just be less tight-fisted, Catherine? Anyway, I'll grow up one day. So that's it. My little
Beautiful.
Japanese kimono bag. So that's that as far as cross-stitch goes.
Excellent.
Cool. Oh, that's it for you.
That's
isn't
it for
apart
me,
from
except
purchases?
for we get to the shopping bit.
So
Yeah.
I do have some other bits and bobs to show you. For the people that have been around for a wee bit, you know that I'm making a curtain for my bedroom door opening, which hasn't got a door. And I'm doing, see, Victoria's so clever. We have a bookmark. So from this book called Inspirations, A Passion for Needlework, which actually, did you know it's made in Australia?
Yeah, it's an Australian company. This is book number 4, people.
Yes. Important detail for Victoria. So this is, you have to have the right friends. So Victoria lent me her book. Because I love alliums. They're one of my favorite flowers. And can I just say, I haven't been able to find a garden centre that sells alliums.
Oh.
I've got alliums I planted alliums in Port Chalmers, but thinking about it, I didn't have Purple Sensation, which makes me think, do we not get Purple Sensation in New Zealand?
Or is it just, are we too far south? Is it too cold? Or?
No, it's not. It's not. Well, no, because New Zealand is so restrictive as far as plants. Import. So you have to, if there's a plant that isn't in New Zealand already, you have to get a special license. So there's lots of things we can't get because nobody has made the investment to apply for a license.
Yeah.
So maybe we've never had allium Purple Sensation, which would be a shame. Anyway, so beautiful. And this is thread painting. So, because it's, can I give you that? Because this is thread painting, I crushed my personality and I bought a second-hand hoop and stand. So this is, you kind of sit on it. You can't see it, but you sit on it because it's got this thing. Victoria's got the same one actually. Well, similar. Mine's got something different. Mine's got this carving stuff here that you don't have. But anyway, so what I did is I blew up the pattern, sort of 200%, because I wanted it bigger. And whilst I was on holiday, what I did, I was very clever. I didn't take the projects that I was drawn to. I took the projects I wanted to work on, which is different. So there was no knitting, which was frustrating.
Because you'll know that, I just won't, I'll do an easy project.
That was a mistake, but when I'm in the cab with Martin driving, actually, the only thing I can do is knit. I could do quilting, but because I don't use a thimble, I needed to give my hands a break. I'm going to start using a thimble. Anyway, 200%, and I started, and then I did split stitch. So I did, you can just about make out the green, the green, the green, and the green. And I've done split stitch before. I think it's a bit pointless. It's not much different from stem stitch.
No, you just go back in through the thread that's already laid.
Yeah. And so I was just like, oh. But I thought, no, Catherine. Follow the instructions. You can do this. You can do split stitch. And I did. And you can't really tell, but it looks pretty. So I'm pleased that I did it.
I'm really impressed that you followed the rules after. Like, you physically thought, follow the rules and do. That's what it says, a split stitch. It's not like you at all.
I know. I was not having a good time. But I thought, see, from now on, I can make decisions based on, like, this was probably an hour and a half's worth of work. And, like, next time I can go, like, it actually wasn't, but it didn't irritate me as much. In the past, I've been more irritated by it. Maybe I'm maturing. Anyway, I'm super excited. I have made no progress since the little holiday. But it's out now, so.
That's great.
So now I'm doing the thread painting. That's my next step. And I'm not choosing to follow their colours. I'm choosing my own colours, of course. But anyway, and the other thing that happened is that I decided I was waiting to be able to take my naked picture to have it on the top. I was like, I can start without it.
Yeah, of course you can.
The time will be right when the photo happens, or like I draw myself, whatever. I did take like 5 photos of myself the other day because my hair was looking. I was like, I'll keep the hair photos for the embroidery.
Yeah.
So yay for that. Oh, and of course, I keep in my trusty
in your rice bag,
brown basmati rice bag. Someone commented that they had one as well. I was like,
I hope they're using it as a stitching bag.
No, they've been saving it to see what they would do. So, but hers was Hessian, which is rough.
Yep.
I've got one as well in Hessian. So I suggested that if she's anything like me, she probably also has vintage napkins. So you can wrap your project in a napkin and put it in the Hessian bag. So anyway, yay for basmati rice.
Excellent.
So there'll be all these people. Well, who am I kidding? There won't be. But it'd be funny if lots of embroiderers went to buy rice. Just for the bag.
Just for the bag.
Yeah. So that was that. So in the vein of being a grown-up and getting on with things.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten you were working on this as well.
Yes, so I do remember a couple of years back now, I started doing this, let me put my glasses on, little half orange. And I went to, it was a Zoom workshop during lockdown with a Jesuit priest from Ecuador that does
Gorgeous work.
beautiful work. And it's got a name in Ecuador. He comes from a town called Guamote. And so they do Guamoteñan embroidery. So very religious, very, very focused on, especially on Easter. But yeah, so his family had been doing this sort of special type of embroidery for this community, very focused on the church, for 100 years.
Wow.
I know, because he's kind of been doing a project of kind of like documenting all this stuff and like kind of almost creating a museum archive for it. So anyway,
Cool.
Anyway, I decided to be a grown up and just work on it because, honest to God, sorry, a bit blasphemous with the priest that taught me. I keep thinking, okay, I'll just use 6 more strands and that will be done. And I used 6 and it's like, it makes no difference. But now I did that 6 times and I was like, I think it's finished. What's your opinion? Do you think that's finished? Or are you going to find fault? Because sometimes it looks like there's a patch, but it's actually a different...
It's just a different colour?
Yeah, because there's like 6 different red/orange/yellows there.
I reckon you'd call that finished.
I think that's exactly what I'm gonna call it finished. I'm sure someone could make it more embroidery.
Like you could, it's the sort of thing you could add as much or as little as you wanted to, but it's at a stage where you could look at it and you wouldn't think, oh, that's half done.
Yeah. There was quite a few gaps at the top, and I actually managed to figure out how to do it, which is why you have all these here, because you had to go across. For a long time, I was trying to get to them like this, and you just couldn't. So now I've kind of gone up and down.
God, no wonder your fingers are butchered.
I know.
I was trying to get needles into that snail today. It's got a bit of padding, and oh, my fingers
Yeah.
are ribbons, so you can't see. But
you
yeah,
have to use thimbles, which I'm just not good with.
I'm not good, no.
So now I have this bit to do, and for this one you also have to use a hoop. You stretch it taut, you embroider with thread painting, you embroider the top of the orange, and then you cut it and then you attach it.
Do you stitch like a bit of wire around it?
No,
Just
no.
pure.
Just pure embroidery.
Cool.
So that'll be quite interesting.
Faster.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't need half an orange.
Yes, you do, because that's so cute.
What am I? See, I don't think it's cute.
Well, then you
And
can
I'm
finish it, and you can gift it to your stitchy friend who will display it.
No, if I finish it, I'm bloody keeping it. I'm just not sure. But I kind of feel like, you know, priests. He said to me, one of his parting comments was, and of course, I think I've talked about this in the show, but way back, when I was doing this course, a very good friend of mine's partner was in a coma in hospital with COVID. And we thought he was going to die. It was truly a miracle that he made it through. She was even asked to come and say goodbye. And like, they weren't letting people in to say goodbye to the things, but the doctor took compassion. He was compassionate and said to her, look, you're going to have to cover up yourself like this, wash like this, and the whole protocol of how to keep her safe and him safe, to say goodbye. But he made it. He came back. But anyway, so I'm not a believer in that way. Like, I do believe, because I was brought up, my mom was Protestant of some denomination, I'm not sure what. So I do believe, but it's because I believe because my parents taught me.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked the priest, can you please pray for my friend's partner? So he added him to the list.
Oh, lovely.
So this is in the background. And then he said, I just asked you to finish the project because I teach so many people and they never finish. And I was like, oh, I will finish.
Yes, and he wants you to send a photo, if I remember correctly.
No, he didn't. No.
Oh, yeah, get out of that.
No, you're trying to get me more compromised in the situation. No, he didn't. But I kind of feel like kind of almost a sense of moral obligation. It's very annoying. Anyway, so yay, orange.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I will get it done, and also I will learn something in the process. I think that'll be. Even if what I learn is that I have very little patience. But yeah, so
I love you in the
There's
wee ramekin. Pigs and a ramekin.
I've got like 20 flosses for this project. And I actually bought all the numbers that he told me, and it was hilarious.
Following rules.
Yeah, but I'm not really following, like, I'm not looking at the instructions, I assure you. And that was the other thing. It was kind of weird because it was Zoom, and then he sent me some videos, but I was never able to open the videos on my computer because he sent them to my phone. And it was just complicated. So anyway, but I'm really glad I'm making progress, and please do look at my fancy bag. So that's that. What else? Oh, my quilt. Sorry, this is now the Catherine show. Victoria's comfy though. You're
I'm very comfy.
Right? So I have now finished the next step of this quilt.
Do you want to hold anything?
No. So I've got 13 of these.
Looks so good.
So it's enough for the top of my bed. So I need the fall. So I'm not going to show you all, but this is what they look like. This pattern is a half square triangle. And it's all either second-hand fabric or gifts of people's husband's shirts and stuff like that. Oh, incidentally, Victoria gave me 3 white shirts. Very excited. So they'll be embroidered and worn. And my friends, well, actually my friend as well, he sent me 2 t-shirts today because I had my reading group this afternoon. And so my friend's partner sent 2 shirts. That's the only man that will hand me down shirts.
Oh,
I ask a lot of people.
I know you do.
Nobody takes me seriously. Nobody gives me shirts. I think they feel that I'm kind of kidding and they're embarrassed. I am serious.
Christian. Oh, he's got beautiful shirts.
Yeah, I know one person through work and he has the most beautiful shirts, and I know he changes his wardrobe every year. I'm always trying to get them. It never happens. So anyway, really happy with this. So that's another big step. That kind of wrecked my fingers as well. And now I've decided that I'm going to be good and I'm going to use a thimble. I say this. So now I need to add, for the fall, I do need to add, well, I've made a decision that I'm going to add a length of this to both sides. Right, so what I should have said is that this is now going to be sewn on this edge to another one. So I've got, did I say 13 of these?
You did.
That's an odd number.
It is an odd number.
Yeah, so I'll do 12. So there'll be 6 on this side and 6 on this side. So I'm going to have to split that 13th one and then put this length along one whole outer and another whole outer, and I'll do one at the bottom as well, and that will give me a fall at the bottom.
Oh, just so if this is your bead curling over, is it one like that or one like that?
So this will go like this.
Oh yes, yeah.
And that's my bed.
That's your bead, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have to cut that in half, yeah.
It's going to be cut into more things.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I am, even with one of these repurposed, I think I'm going to have to cut more fabric.
Ah.
But I've still got lots of the same fabrics, so I'll be able to do that. And then, of course, poor Martin, he always gets trapped in bed. He'd be like, okay, shall we just go to sleep now? I'm like, I just have one quilty question. And so what I was asking him was about the little fox fabric. I was like, I was so excited when I saw this fox fabric secondhand because I never buy fancy quilting fabric, and I was so excited to have something so cute like this, and now it turns out I don't really like it. And he was like, just get over it, you can't even tell.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all the foxes, I kept them to one side, so they're all going to be on the side of the bed. So he was like,
all needs, yeah.
It's going to be fine, Catherine. I was like, okay. Poor Martin, traumatized by being tricked into a craft question. So that's that. So this is great because every fortnight I kind of move forward another
I'm very
step.
impressed. I was just thinking it's been fascinating watching you do your stages. You know, first it was cutting it and then stitching 2 together and stitching 4
and I am quite fast, aren't I, Victoria?
You're very fast, but it has taken you a lot longer than I thought it would, Catherine. I do feel you've slowed down with
Because
this
I've got
one.
3 quilts on the go.
I know, but I don't think that's really a legitimate excuse.
No?
I feel that you
Okay.
still need to be turning them out.
Am I failing?
You are failing, I feel.
So now I'll show you the other quilt I'm working on actively.
It's a joke, by the way, because
It
the
is a
first time
joke.
Catherine showed me your quilt, I was like, oh, that'll keep you going for a year. That's great. You turned it out in like 6 weeks.
No, it wasn't. It was more like Victoria was like, oh, you don't want to work by hand, you'll never finish. And I was like, I love a challenge.
Yeah, that was when I didn't know her very well.
Yeah, so we'd only really just met.
But we bring this conversation up quite a lot.
I definitely do, because I definitely won.
Oh, this is looking good.
So I thought I'd done all the lengths for this. I hadn't.
Oh.
So I'm now finishing the lengths. Got some really ready to join the lengths together.
This is Flying Geese, isn't it?
Yes, this one's called Flying Geese. I actually
Love that
thought
blend.
there is a quilt exhibition called Festival of Quilts. I think it's called the Festival of Quilts. It's open. You can just send your quilt. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be a professional quilter. And I thought, oh my God, wouldn't it be amazing if I could send this in?
That would be cool.
One of them. Because I thought I could send an older one. Wouldn't it be cool to send a newer one? It's in England.
So you basically got to pay for your P&P there and back.
Yeah, and there might be like a joining fee.
Mhm.
But I thought one of the things that the only reason I toy with the idea of joining the quilting guild in Dunedin, or any guild, this is not a comment on the quilting guild in particular, is that I'd love to be able to show my quilts. It's only my friends that get tricked into seeing my quilts. So anyway, I thought, oh, I could try and do that, but I think I've left it too late. It's probably for August. It's August, September. But I know Mr. What's his name? Full English. He's a quilter in Yorkshire. He's submitting one, and what's the other one called?
Oh, excuse me.
Kate from the Homely House. She's submitting one this year. And these are just people. I mean, they're both famous now, but they're just people that, quilt or whatever. So I was thinking, oh, I could be people that quilt, that sends a quilt in. Not many people send wonky quilts because everybody's so preoccupied with perfection. So I'd be at least a bit different. Because I am preoccupied with not perfection. So, we shall see. So that kind of, I thought about it the other day and I thought, oh, that could be a reason to be encouraged to keep going. Speaking of, my sister's in the Isle of Man at the moment. I'm so
what's
jealous.
she doing over there? Just having a tra-la-la?
Yeah, they're having a tra-la-la.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I was very jealous. In fact, I've got to send her a message. I said to her, they have their own breed of sheep.
Could you give me some wool?
Well, the subtext was like, can you buy a couple of balls and send them to me? But I didn't quite say that.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm thinking I need to be more
You
explicit.
should. You just said, look, can you get me some wool?
My sister
Make sure
is
it's
lovely.
not, what's that thing you don't like? Overwashed.
Superwash.
Superwash.
It's not. It's very artisan style wool.
Beautiful.
So that's that one. I've got the shirt. Oh yes. Oh my God. This is my Knitty Finish. I finished my top.
That's so beautiful.
I finished it, changed into it, and took the dog out for a walk.
Good job.
And I felt victorious because it was autumn and I was out in my summer top.
Lovely.
And it was definitely warm enough. So I have finished it. I love this. This was an actual pattern. So it's got
It's beautiful.
it's got this beautiful lace up here, which is just lovely. Yeah, it's really lovely. Martin, he's so funny sometimes. He was like, oh, make sure you don't lift your arm like this because you can see your tummy. You don't want to be seeing my tummy. I was like, don't you be telling me that I can't lift my arm.
Oh.
It is on the verge because I don't wear belts, so my trousers kind of drop. Well, I got op shop-tasticness, not last time, but the one before in Oamaru.
Ooh.
3 new pairs of trousers from the op shop.
Well done.
This, I've got a red pair,
Beautiful.
and they're a size 16. Way too big. But you know how sizes are diabolical.
Oh God, sizes are awful.
So I managed to get 2 pairs of size 14. One of them is a little bit tight and the other one's perfect, and the size 16 is massive. But there are other things where you buy a size 16 and you're like, oh, these are perfect. So
Perfect,
whatever. I wasn't going to try on. But they're red and great.
So would you add a bit more length to it then?
I thought about it, but I can't remember the needle size. I thought about it, but I actually really like this length. And I thought what I will do is I will buy a belt.
There we go.
Because the trousers are big, so they kind of drop a little bit. So ideally they would be a bit high-waisted, but anyway, it's just perfect and beautiful, and I love it, and I will make another
gorgeous.
one for sure. I just think it's so beautiful. I probably will knit a woolen one. I was thinking of doing the same but for a cardigan shape.
Is that not wool?
No, this is cotton. This is what I bought in Chile. This is one of my consolation prizes in
That's
Chile.
why it looks, yeah,
It's got different, it's got a completely different handle, but it's 8 ply, so it's quite thick. I love it. I'm very happy. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love the colour.
Yeah.
Goes really well with those red pants too.
Yeah, it looks great together. That's so funny because I finished it. I hid the ends. I changed it. I was like, oh gosh, as makers, we do love people to see our projects. So it's like the quilts. Like people have to see my quilts. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
So my tops, people have to see my tops. So anyway, I do recommend the pattern, which is called the leaf top. I think it's a free one from Ravelry. It's called, I'm not showing it because although I think it's a free one, it might not be. The leaf top. I think it's from Drops. They tend to be free because they want you to buy their yarn. So yay, I'm super happy. Claire was really like, oh, I love the colour.
It's gorgeous.
Do you remember Claire's mustard top? It reminded her a little bit of that.
Nice. When did you catch up with Claire? Why wasn't I there?
Just sorry. Oh, don't be jealous. No, it was on the messaging. I haven't seen her. Don't worry. Don't worry. We haven't excluded
socialising
you.
without me.
No, not at all. Okay, so I think that's everything. But I do have like Rex outside of that. But you have some.
I've got just
Pantry.
a little bit of craft pantry. So you'll recall last video if you watched it. I bought 3 books, but then bought the wrong one to your house.
Yeah, you forgot one.
I bought number 4, which I had previously, which is what had your pattern in it.
Yeah.
And not number 1. So this is number 1. So I now have 1 through 4. So I feel much more comfortable in having the rather than just
shoulders have dropped.
just volume 4. It was very strange. And this is another beautiful one. I love these. I'm assuming it's stump work flowers. I think I'm going to be doing some of these. Beautiful little
Acorns.
Acorns. Berries for birds. I feel like a primary
I
teacher.
found 2 projects I want to make.
White linen.
Yeah, white on white. Yeah.
You can see that, right? Sorry, flipping through. David Smythe's garden. Actually, that's beautiful. I do feel like I am sitting in front of Kindy and I'm reading you all the story. I do the voices.
I keep thinking of Barney's. Clean up, clean up.
Everybody, everywhere.
Clean up.
Everybody do your share. On the beach. Beautiful, beautiful elements. Oh, how gorgeous is that? Oh my. Corner cockle?
Corn cockle.
Corn cockle and dragonfly. How cool is that? I like the grasshopper and the dragonfly and the butterfly and the other dragon. Oh, 2 dragonflies there cheated.
You really do know what people like, don't they?
I'm such a sucker for an insect. So I'm not going to show you every page. Secret posies. No. Secret possessions. Can't read. It's late.
It's the giddiness. The
It
giddiness
is.
of an embroidery book.
They're my sister's initials. She can do this one. Look at the kingfisher. Isn't he gorgeous?
We love a kingfisher.
We get them round here too.
And then you get the beautiful blues and greens.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite birds. Oh, this is the one. You've passed the one I wanted to make.
No, I haven't. I just accidentally grabbed 5 pages instead of, so I've
Ah.
gone back. The beautiful peacock.
Nah, not
Which
bothered.
peacocks, I think, were bad luck, aren't they, inside? Peacock feathers.
No.
Falling leaves. Through falling leaves.
Is that the one I
make
want?
my way slowly.
Yes.
Talking
I love
a
that
lot.
one.
Eases my mind.
Look at that. Extra content.
Look at that.
Victoria's singing. We both
Beautiful.
sang today.
We
That's,
have.
That's the
We did our
theme.
duet. Woodland, just beautiful. Gosh, people are clever.
Have we shown the beetle yet? Is that gone?
I don't think the beetles come through yet. Sorry.
I love the beetle.
Oh no, maybe we did go through
I'm
because
just
we're now
thinking
in
of the one
instructions.
before. They don't show the instructions because
I
that's the
wasn't
details.
going to show the instructions. I was just showing the glossy pictures.
So I think it was just like almost at the end before that one. There was this beautiful blue beetle, like scarab, whateverness. That was just lovely. So
Wait, was it in this book or was it in the other book?
No, it wasn't in this book. Yeah, but anyway,
Trust
people
us,
can
there's
go
a
on-
beetle in a book.
Yeah,
and
people can go
you
and
can
buy
find it
it.
yourself.
I wonder if libraries buy these.
I'm sure they must
Do they have an ISBN? Have a look at the back. They won't buy it if it hasn't got an ISBN. I think that's an ISBN. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
I'm sure they must do. A lot of, I mean, if you've got a guild, I'm sure all the guilds have.
No, but I'm talking public library, not guild library. Let me just.
I don't think it is in that one. I reckon it's in number 4. This is number 4, and you can watch
I
us
didn't
while
look
we
through
flip.
it today.
Oh, did you not?
No, I don't think this has an ISBN, which makes me think a public library wouldn't buy it. Oh, it has! It has an ISBN. You can recommend it to your library.
But I mean, Inspiration's a huge company in Australia and New Zealand. I'm
Australia.
assuming the world. But it's Australia and New Zealand in
I
particular.
think they do a magazine as well.
I'm wondering if the beetle was nearer the back and not actually in the front pictures.
Well, it has to be in the front pictures because that's where they show you the projects, and then the back is the instructions.
I know, but maybe it's a close-up of something that we missed.
Yeah, that could be.
The ongoing beetle
yeah.
debate.
Okay, so you look for the beetle, and I'll
Yep.
talk about things that I wanted to talk about. So I wanted to recommend a book. So I'm in a reading group, and I recommended this book to my reading group, which we're going to discuss next month. But I've never read a novel by a Vietnamese writer, and it's called The Mountains Sing, and her name is Nguyen Pan Ke Mai, and it was really good. She actually, it's interesting because she went on a scholarship to Australia to do a PhD, I believe. People are clever. But this is a novel in the same vein of Wild Swans. Do you remember Wild Swans from way back, sort of 90s, 2000s? It was amazing. It was a book that spanned 100 years, I think. And it covered it was a Chinese book, and it covered the revolution. Yeah, amazing book. 3 generations of women. So this is kind of the same. 3 generations, but it's centered around Vietnam, the Vietnam War, the land reform, communism. What I found particularly beautiful, it was like this depiction of family love, which I think is very, it doesn't work in the same way in the Western world. I think the Western world has moved away from this. So the Western world is more individualistic, and the non-Western world is still very community focused. So it's not what you want, it's what the family want. That tends to still be the norm. So it was so beautifully written, and it was so stirring when they were talking about that, because of course difficult times, that land reform, war, communism. There was this north of Vietnam, the south of Vietnam. So I've never read anything. I was asking Martin because he's older than me. I was like, what happened? So there's lots of Googling. So I really recommend it. Read it. And if you have read it, please let me know what you thought. I thought it was beautiful. Really beautifully written. And also, anyway, I'll stop there. Have a read. It's very good. The Mountains Sing. I recommended it in my Spanish Flosstube, but it's not been translated into Spanish, which is a shame. But this is the first book that she wrote in English. Like she's written other works of fiction and poetry in Vietnamese. But yeah.
So is this the first of her books to be translated
No,
into
she
English?
wrote it in English.
Wrote it in English. Yeah.
And the thing that she was saying is that there's so much literature out there about the Vietnam War, but it's always from a Western perspective.
Yeah.
She wanted it to be not just from a Vietnamese perspective, but also from a female perspective, because, and again, this is a generalization. Mind me whilst I scratch. But generally, in general terms, wars are made by men, and the women really suffer. The women are quite often the physical victims of war, but also they're left behind to try and keep the family afloat. And so they suffer in sort of, we're not going to go into that, but that's all she's saying. We're not going to go into it because it's horrific, but I just really valued that this was a very female perspective. So very good. Loved it. Loved it so much that I read it even though it wasn't an audiobook. I read it with my eyeballs.
Ooh.
I know. Sorry, did you want
I didn't want to have a look.
So that was one thing that I wanted to recommend.
Good size font too, so it's a
Well, we do have glasses.
well, no, I'm thinking, you sometimes you look at book and it's not, this has got spacing between lines, so it's not a. You can read it in a week, is what I'm saying.
I forget that you're dyslexic, so you notice those things that I don't. Yeah. So yeah, that is helpful.
Yeah.
Also, you might be able to get it in large print as well. But yeah, you're right. I don't think about those things so much because I'm.
Also looking, so the book is that thick, and there's space between lines. It's double space between words. So it's
accessible.
It's accessible. It's not a huge read, is what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay. I do like a huge read though.
Well, hey, look, there's the place for them.
Yeah. I've got other 3 things, but I'll talk very quickly about those. We've just got a Neon subscription just for a month. It's expenny.
Not as expensive as Netflix, but yeah.
Isn't it?
No, I'm sure Netflix is.
I don't pay for my Netflix. It's a family Netflix.
Not for much longer.
No, they said that they weren't going to do that.
Oh, but I cancelled mine because they were. Jeez. Or at least they heard my voice.
I'm glad you cancelled it because you have like every subscription. Not that it has anything to do with me. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is like we've got Neon for a month, and then Marta and I couldn't remember why we got Neon.
Oh, Yellow Jackets. I haven't started watching season 2 because I'm waiting till it's all come out. But season 1, fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't bothered. So what I did end up watching was something that I don't remember now, but I have also watched Birdsong. Have you seen it? So the novel was written by Sebastian Faulks over 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, 26 years ago. I mean, Sebastian Faulks, can I just say? Amazing writer. Anyway, they've made a 2-part series. So beautiful.
Will I cry?
Yes.
I will not watch it.
Oh, really?
I'm not in the headspace to have crying things at the moment. I'm just, it's crazy.
Oh, that's really interesting.
I'm avoiding them at the moment.
Oh no, did I cry with this? I don't think I cried, but I was very familiar with the themes. So maybe. Oh no, I did cry at the end.
Does it have a happy ending? I'm not coping with
excuse me, okay, let me just re-explain. First World War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so don't watch. Okay. Kick that on for another.
But it's about the human experience. Like this is, I like literary things and anyway, beautiful. The other thing I've watched is Where the Crawdads Sing. So I'm really into the botanical drawing. We read the book in my reading group. It's actually one of those books that has become world famous and everybody's watched it and they made it into film very quickly. So it's not quite literary, what I would describe as literary, but very compelling, great read. They made a great film out of it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I had seen that one and bookmarked it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah. So definitely recommend. There's a couple of scenes of violence which I skipped. I don't do violence against women, but so beautifully done. And the actress, the female actress, superb. Really great. And a world that I'm not familiar with. So that was great. Now this one's for you. Oh my giddy aunt. I don't know why I did this. I ended up watching Sharp Objects. Have you seen it?
I don't even think I've heard of it. What do you think is it always intrigues me when people think I found a show for you. You probably have. Is it a murder one?
Yes.
Like a murder one?
Yes, it's suspense and murder. I watched, and I got sidetracked because I couldn't sleep. I'd had a coffee out in a coffee shop, and I don't think they made it decaf, even though I asked for decaf. I knew at 11 that I wasn't going to sleep, so I continued watching. It's 7 parts.
Oh, fantastic. That's tomorrow's watch.
Yeah, and okay. And then they had put a notice on Neon that there was going to be maintenance, but I thought I'm only going to watch 4 episodes and then go to sleep. So I didn't pay attention. Anyway, I'm on the 7th episode. It's 1 a.m. and it's like maintenance.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. Of course, I'd already Googled it because I can't do suspense. I knew what had happened. Anyway, there I am. And this is what I do. This is like I was brought up in a believing household. And there I was praying. So I was so terrified. I was like, I've got like one prayer in Spanish that my dad taught me and one prayer in English that my mum taught me. I was like, bargaining with God. And then, of course, after going to sleep at 1 a.m, I wake up before the alarm. Because I'm so scared. I'm like praying again. Really interesting and just like the worst way. It's like that the worst sort of crime sort of, it was horrific.
Oh, fantastic. I'm so looking forward to watching it.
It's Amy Fisher. She's quite a famous actress.
Ah.
She's so good.
Like a Strawberry Blonde?
Yeah. I've watched her in lots of things. She's a great actress. So I liked her anyway, but I was like, I shouldn't be watching. Martin was like, why are you watching this? Like, I don't know. I'd already watched Birdsong that night, so I was already in turmoil, and now I'm watching this. But anyway, if you like suspense thrillers, it's not new. Watch it.
Excellent. I'll give that a go. I love like big long ones that'll take you a day to watch, or 2 days, or an evening.
A day. Yeah. Let's be honest.
I was just trying to pretend I do more than just sit and stitch and watch telly.
Yeah. But I have to say, I'm disappointed with Neon because you can't get subtitles.
Oh.
I mean, maybe you have to go
Pick that up.
maybe you have to go like at the front page configuration because within the film you can't do subtitles and you can't make it faster. So,
I don't know. You could make any of them faster.
Oh yeah, Netflix you can.
I didn't pick that up. Have you watched Mr. Malcolm's List?
Oh, that's the one that we got. and the Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I haven't watched either of those yet, but
we're supposed to have a date to watch.
I know, which is why I haven't watched it.
Okay.
But I wasn't sure if you have. I'm not going to.
Shall we do it next Thursday then? Just watch us whilst we arrange our social life. Yeah, let's watch that together.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So we've done the recommendations. You've seen our projects. Victoria's going to cook me tea. I'm having dinner at her house. This is very exciting.
It shouldn't be. It's coming out of a packet. And Catherine's going to teach me how to make a vinaigrette.
She doesn't know how to make a vinaigrette. I mean, are you an animal?
Apparently. I was like, oh, well, make a nice salad to go with this. I was like, oh no, Catherine likes sauces.
Vinaigrette is like hardly fancy. It's like a staple of life.
I had to send a text out to my mum and my sister. What do I need to buy for a vinaigrette?
The thing is, right, I'm coming to Victoria's for dinner. Like, I'll eat anything. I'll be delighted.
But yeah, I better go put that on.
Yeah.
So we'll see you, hopefully in 10 days' time.
Yes.
So,
Have a good week. Ka kite.